Hey, Maha, do you feel like an idiot? Kennedy is now advocating that you take certain items. You know, that same item that he made his career telling everyone not to take? I'm not going to say that dreaded V word on here. God knows YouTube will freak out and ban me. But you know what I'm talking about. He went from recommending vitamin A to recommending something he had eviscerated throughout the years. Now he's writing op-eds for Fox News urging Americans to take that very V word. So why did he hoodwink MAHA? Trump originally picked him to review health policies when he was elected back in 2016, but then suddenly and coincidentally dropped Kennedy after cashing a $1 million inaugural donation. Some are saying he has to play ball in the new administration and go along to get along. But here's the thing. Kennedy isn't a rank-and-file employee. He runs the HHS. He is the one with the authority. That was his op-ed with his byline. No one made him do it. Is he selling at MAHA for a chance to kiss the ring of Trump? Now, maybe you're someone who is disappointed by Kennedy's sudden 180-degree turn and his lies, but maybe you should check yourself. Kennedy promised to not change the schedule of the V word if he was confirmed. Then, once he got in, he immediately ordered a review of that very childhood schedule. Why lie about it? We all knew he had his eyes on that schedule. Regardless of where you fall on this issue particularly, RFK is a liar. He'll lie to do what you want and to do what you don't want him to do. Now maybe you're saying, but MAHA is great. It's real. He's just playing 4D chess. Well, have I got news for you. He hates MAGA voters. He's called MAGA voters cowards, bootlickers, belligerent idiots, and spineless.
What?
He's called Trump a bully, a threat to democracy, and even compared him to Hitler. Hear it for yourself.
You know, one of the things that you write so beautifully, and your stuff is so fun to read, but you write about Trump. Quote, the way that you build a truly vicious nationalist movement is to wed a relatively small core of belligerent idiots to a much larger group of opportunists and spineless fellow travelers whose primary function is to turn a blind eye to things. We may not have that many outright Nazis in America, but we have plenty of cowards and bootlickers, and once those fleshy dominoes start tumbling into the Trump camp, the game is up.
While on the 2024 presidential campaign trail, Kennedy called Trump an unhinged lunatic. Just a year later, he would embrace Trump, don a MAHA hat, and become the cowardly bootlicker he once despised. It's also been reported that Kennedy first reached out to the Harris campaign for a role in her administration before he was rejected and decided to team up with Trump. Now, let's be fair. Kennedy's criticisms are his right. There are idiots on both sides. His policy priorities are his prerogative as well. But remember, Kennedy is a lifelong Democrat. And that's okay. He's done some fabulous work on behalf of the environment and going after big corporations like Monsanto. But let's not forget that he's a radical and someone who does not represent MAGA, Republicans, conservatives, libertarians, or anybody who wants small government. He's called for the gelling of climate deniers, and he's called the NRA a terrorist group, and that those who voted for Trump are belligerent idiots. Newsflash, he doesn't respect you, MAGA. He might even think that it would be easy to get one over on you, because, after all, you're a belligerent idiot. He has a history of lying, not just from being a womanizing, philanderer, serial cheater cad, but also a liar about his own connections. He lied about being on Epstein's plane, causing him to correct the record during his presidential run. But he conveniently left out that he attended a party at Ghislaine Maxwell's house. But if you go down the rabbit hole far enough, you'll find him, just like I did. Here's the thing. When someone lies as much as Kennedy has, when someone is diametrically opposed to the chief Cheeto in charge that he works for, you gotta know that that guy will compromise and capitulate. He gets the big job. He gets access to all the power in the parties to soothe his little traitor soul. But we, the people, we get nothing of what we wanted or that we voted for. Now let's go back to last summer for a minute. I attended the Libertarian National Convention in Washington, D.C. Kennedy's campaign was passing out rubber chickens. The goal? To have people taunt Trump that he was a chicken for not debating Kennedy. He also passed out shirts that said, Trump Fauci 2024, give him another shot. So when you go that far with attacks and then work for the guy, one can imagine how many concessions you must make. Trump didn't cease being a bully. MAGA voters didn't cease being an idiot to him. He didn't stop thinking Trump was the worst thing for public health and the pandemic. He still thinks that. He just doesn't care. It's about career protection. The Democrats discarded of him, even though he was a Kennedy, so he had to find a home somewhere, and he came running into Trump's open arms. Now, not only has Kennedy trashed Trump, but let's not forget that Trump called Kennedy a left-wing lunatic during the campaign. If their statements about each other are true, how could they work together? And would Trump knowingly put a lunatic in charge of the country's health policies? Or are Kennedy and Trump playing that same old political game that we've seen before? Pretend to be enemies, divide the people against each other, then work together to screw over the American people. It's a little political performance art, if you will. Maybe they never were working against each other as much as they were working towards the same thing. Continuation of the uniparty in D.C. You see, while Americans deserve the truth, these politicians think we can't handle it. The way the American people would handle the truth would be to remove them from office, and they just can't have that. But let's get back to Kennedy. Maybe he's a liar. Maybe he's an idiot. Maybe it's those lust demons or the worm in his brain. All I know is that none of those are a good option when you're running the Department of Health and Human Services. Now that you know where we've been, find out where we're going. Tune in to Ladies Love Politics, where you can stay informed without going insane.